All right, everybody. I'm going to start off by introducing a little bit about what we are going to be talking about. I want to thank you all for coming. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about seniors from Lee who, through this very Council on Aging, had the opportunity to dance at Jacob's Pillow. And in doing so, they became part of a landmark work that was part of the history of American dance. That story has been waiting quietly in the archives of Jacob's Pillow, and today I hope to be able to bring that story fully to life. My name is Joshua Bloom. I've lived here in Lee for about 12 years now, and I am a researcher, a writer, community advocate, and nonprofit professional. Over the last year, I have been working on a project that I've called Jacob's Pillow in Lee, Mass., an effort to document and celebrate the long, rich, and often overlooked history of the relationship between the world-renowned dance center and the town of Lee. The project resulted in an extensive exhibit at the Lee Library that's currently on display, and I brought copies of some of the panels that you could see over here. This is just a selection of the 34 or so panels that are up on the walls at the library and other artifacts that are on display, and so I encourage you to go check that out. And I've also started publishing a series of articles in the Berkshire Edge that are available online for free. The first two have already come out, and there are 10 more that are forthcoming, and they're coming out every Sunday. So I encourage you to both visit the library and to check out theberkshireedge.com to find that article series. I'm here today with Rubiel Nijaim. She is a dancer and choreographer who grew up here in Lee and graduated from Lee High School. This summer, she's working at Jacob's Pillow, and she had the opportunity to perform at Jacob's Pillow with Berkshire Pulse Dance School, and through Pulse, she had the opportunity to dance in an intergenerational project alongside one of the dancers that we will be discussing today. After I show you a series of video clips, she'll lead us in some movement exercises and more on Rubiel in a moment. First, let me give you a bit of context and zoom out a little bit. So Jacob's Pillow, by a show of hands, who has been to Jacob's Pillow? Okay, so most of you. Jacob's Pillow is located just a few miles up the road in Beckett, and it's one of the oldest and most celebrated dance festivals in the United States. It was founded by dancer Ted Shawn in the early 1930s, and its stage has been welcomed virtually every major dance figure over the last 9 decades. It has drawn tens of thousands of visitors each summer from across the country and around the world. Not to mention being supported by the residents of the Berkshires themselves. About a third of the visitors to Jacob's Pillow do come from the Berkshires and are part of the backbone of what is the support system and the supporters of the Pillow. What most people don't realize is how close of a relationship Jacob's Pillow has had with the town of Lee and has always had with the town of Lee. Not only through the fact that Jacob's Pillow's mailing address was for decades and decades a post office box here in Lee at the post office, but through local workers who built their stages and residents who performed and studied there, through businesses that served the artists and audiences, and the civic ties that have woven the two institutions together for nearly a century. That was the relationship that I researched and I've been dedicated to exploring. To better understand the context of the chapter of the dance history of Lee that I'm going to be talking about today and be featuring in some videos, it's important to hear a little bit about Liz Lerman. Liz Lerman is one of the most visionary figures in American dance in the last half century. She was born in Los Angeles in 1947, grew up in Washington, D.C., and trained as a dancer and choreographer. The seeds of her defining vision were planted through grief. After her mother died, she created a dance work honoring her mother's life. In that piece, she recruited residents of a senior apartment building in Washington, D.C., and she worked with them as genuine performers and collaborators. A few of those older dancers stayed on and formed a group that became known as Dancers of the Third Age. Dancers of the Third Age ran from 1975 to 1993, making it the longest-running senior dance company on record. It incorporated men and women ranging in ages from 60 to 92. And they performed alongside younger professional dancers from Lerman's other company that was called Liz Lerman Dance Exchange, which she founded also in 1976. Together, they performed in schools, senior centers, theatrical venues across Washington, the East Coast, and beyond. And what Lerman was doing was a bit radical. At the time, when American culture held narrow, often brutal assumptions about who belonged on a dance stage, she was insisting on something entirely different. That age should not be a barrier to artistry, and that senior adults have movement, vocabulary, and life histories that younger dancers cannot replicate. And the most powerful dance happens when generations perform together, and when stories are rooted in real lives and real communities. In 1984, Liz Lerman published Teaching Dance to Senior Adults. It was her opportunity to share her methodology with the field. By the mid-1980s, her company was touring extensively, and this model of community residency, where working with seniors was a defining feature of her practice. In the mid-1980s, she received a commission from Dancing in the Streets, which is a New York-based organization that brings public art into public spaces. She was asked to create a piece commemorating the centennial of the Statue of Liberty. What she made became one of the most celebrated pieces in her career. It was called Still Crossings. The work grew deeply from a personal place. She had just finished working on a piece called Russia, Footnotes to History, which took her 3 years to make. When her father saw the piece on tour in California, he told her something that he had never shared with Liz before, that her grandfather had escaped conscription in the Russian army, had walked across Russia, and made it to America. The story never left her, and she integrated it into the choreography of Still Crossing. In her own words, the old people rolling slowly across the stage in the opening of Still Crossing are, to me, the ghost of my grandfather. All those immigrants present in each of our imaginations. Still Crossings was a meditation on immigration, the courage of crossing, and what it means for a body to leave one world behind and enter another one. Its central image, older dancers moving slowly, deliberately, as if they were crossing great distances, required exactly the kind of performers that Lerman had been working with for decades. People whose bodies carried time, people who understood in their bones what it meant to keep moving through the world for many years. In 1985, Lerman was offered an artist in residency opportunity at Jacob's Pillow. It was her debut at the festival. The residency gave her the time, space, and community to work with as she developed Still Crossing before it was going to premiere in New York the following year. The community she found was right here. Older members of the Lee Senior Center came to work with Lerman at the Council on Aging and performed at the Pillow. Among those earliest collaborators were Yvonne Bassau, Stan Olszewski, Marguerite Urban, Peter Jaworski, Marie Conklin, Mary Fuhr, and we have some of her relatives here today, and Senior Center Director Norma Maroney, whose daughter I had met just last week. Those were not trained dancers. They were Lee residents, neighbors, grandparents, community pillars. They were being asked to take on a professional stage with a genuine piece of choreographic significance. They rehearsed, they worked, they practiced, and they performed on the Inside Out stage of Jacob's Pillow in that summer of 1985, helping Lerman refine her work that would go on to become a landmark in American dance. After she then debuted in New York that following year, she returned to the Pillow in 1986. And on July 28th, the Lee seniors returned and performed Still Crossing again at Jacob's Pillow, with Lerman treating these residencies as both a workshop opportunity and a chance for audience to engage directly in the artistic process. And back then in the mid-'80s, the Inside Out stage and the performances, particularly those that were put on by the artists and residents, were such workshops. Artists and residents had the opportunity to really play with the work that they were doing. It was meant for it to be interactive, much like you might go to see a Tanglewood rehearsal, in fact. So it was the chance to really see artists' works in progress. But the story doesn't end there in 1985 and 1986. 6 years later, in July 1992, Liz Lerman's Dance Exchange returned to the Berkshires and to the Lee Senior Center to train a new and expanded group of community performers for another performance of Still Crossing at Jacob's Pillow. And Yvonne Bassaw, Marie Conklin, and Norma Maroney returned as veterans of the 1985 and 1986 performances, and they were joined by by seniors from across the region, including Marjorie Allen of Pittsfield, Diana Feld of Lee, Norma Frankel, Gert Frazier of Lee, Jane Green of Great Barrington, Carol Schneider of Pittsfield, Elaine Smith of Tyringham, Rose Trigaboff of Stockbridge, Roberta Wolfe of Lee, and Shirley Yost of Great Barrington. In archival footage that we'll view in a minute, you'll see these dancers, their faces, their movements, their voices, bringing to life work that had been traveling the world and was coming home again to the community that helped shape it. And the story continues. 4 of those dancers from the 1992 ensemble, Gert Frazier, Roberta Wolfe of Lee, and Rose Trigaboff of Stockbridge, along with Norma Frankel, went on to participate in yet another Jacob's Pillow piece. This was an off-site piece, a rare piece that was not at the Pillow itself, but was done in Pittsfield. And it was a piece on the Housatonic River that was in partnership with the Lee-based Housatonic River Initiative, which is an organization, an environmental organization that's based here in Lee, that has been for many, many years involved with trying to improve the environment on the river, along the riverway, and how it deal with the pollution of the PCBs in the river. So that piece premiered on June 5th and 6th in 1993 and involved not just seniors, but young students and all sorts of different people of different walks of life. And it was an interactive piece where people were able to move from room to room and experience different pieces. So take a moment to just think about the arc of that history from 1985 to 1993. It was nearly a decade where Lee seniors got involved with dancing at Jacob's Pillow in an ongoing living collaboration. These residents were creative participants in a genuine artistic piece of significance. They took to America's most important dance stages and served in service of ideas such as immigration, community, and the landscape they called home. They did this at an age where most people do not dance, where most people might not even have the opportunity to be in the audience for dance performances. One of the things that I want to just share with you before we watch the footage from the 1980s is that Liz Lerman is back again in the Berkshires this summer. She'll be at Jacob's Pillow on Saturday, July 25th at 4 p.m. for a free talk on her new book, Shape and Momentum, an insomniac's guide for a world in constant motion. And I encourage you to attend that if you are available. And perhaps if you meet her at that performance, invite her to come back here and do some more work with all of you. So now, if my technology works, let me play something for you. Hold on one second. Move out of the way.
When Liz Thompson asked me to come to the Pillow, one of the things that she asked me about was my work with older people. It came about because, partly what I told you earlier, that I really do believe that communities need everybody dancing. But in my case, it was a nice idea in my head until my mother got very, very sick. And in thinking about a piece that I was going to make and honoring her after her death, I realized that I really wanted older people to be with me on the stage. That it wasn't enough to make a dance with young people looking like old people. Somehow that wouldn't work. This was 10 years ago. And when I first went into the Roosevelt Hotel for senior citizens in Washington, D.C., they had just lost their chorus teacher, and they needed some entertainment. So I said to them, I'd like to teach a modern dance class. And they were thrilled, and they paid me $5 a week. And I could come in and begin what was really my own learning process. So here in Lee, I met a wonderful woman, Norma Maroney, who runs the senior center there, and she said I could come to a picnic of 150 older adults and ask if anyone would like to dance with me for a couple weeks. And when I got there, there was a big bingo game in process, and when it was over, I made my announcement, and the people sitting here are the people who responded to my request. Really brave and wonderful group of people. I don't mean this at all to be corny or anything, but it amazes me over time. When all of you in the audience sitting there, I mean, I know that you yourselves or you know people who feel that they cannot dance. In fact, most people in the culture feel that they cannot dance because we have two left feet, we're fat, we're clumsy, we're futzes, you know, all that stuff that people believe about themselves. And it's amazing to meet people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s who overcome those feelings and begin to dance. It's quite wonderful, and that's what we're going to show you today. So,
this is God's country. River, trees, mountains. Look at them. Marie, 65. Stan, 68. Marguerite, 71. Yvonne, 74. And Peter, 75. They are senior citizens, and they are dancers. The scene is Jacob's Pillow, one of the world's foremost summer dance centers, and welcome guest artist Liz Lerman in from Washington, where she has performed miracles with senior citizens, dancers of the third age, she calls them. And so Liz goes to a nearby senior center in Lee, Massachusetts, as she recruits our stars.
At first, I thought it was mentally, it's going to destroy me.
But with the help of younger dancers, Pete and his peers from the senior center exercise and they learn to improvise.
6, 7.
And they perfect moves for a Lerman ballet about immigration. Side by side, a mysterious and uplifting commingling of youth and old age.
One of the bonuses of working with people from the third age is that you start
realizing the limitless possibilities within yourself.
Even the kids, even little kids, what they are seeing is sort of courage. If those people can do this, well, you know, I can too.
Courage, a return to dance as a communal activity, and something that shows that stereotypes are useless.
Our image of what an ideal dancer is, it's a useless image. It doesn't help the society or us get any closer to what dance is really about. Just like our stereotypes of old people.
Only a year ago, Marguerite had a hip replaced.
I'm having a little situation I was trying to resolve, and I wanted to forget it. And so I got into this. How's that? All right?
Okay, well, that's good. Did it help you?
Yes, I forgot my troubles.
It's sharpened my wits a little bit.
I come home and I'm so relaxed and everything, you know, so I says, boy, I'm gonna stay with it.
Keeps me in trim, my muscles and everything.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, We've got to know people much better and so on. And it's fun working with these kids.
Touching, moving, expressing in a timeless form their years of experience, and what's more, these so-called old-timers move out of time into an eternal youth. Did you have experience dancing before?
Never. I couldn't even dance a polka, and I'm Polish.
I come home and you know, my wife has the radio on and I hum a song with her, you know, something like that, which I never done for a long time. And, you know, just in a good mood. Does your wife like the difference? Oh, I'm sure she does. I know she does. Back at Mass, I'm Dan DiNicola, News Center 6.
I'm Marguerite Urban, and my most rewarding position was working in the labor room. When the phone would ring, I'd rush down to the admitting office, welcome the patient, reassure her, escort her upstairs, tell her this is her bed, and this is the famous Johnny that you will wear through the delivery, and have her hop up in bed, take her vital signs, okay? Listening for the heartbeat. Sounds like a boy.
Having a night, baby.
Yeah, that's very nice, isn't it? What a thing.
I mean, you ought to be signing for me, and I was fine with that. First, worked in the hayfield. And our next job was to milk the cows. All right, Betsy, stand still. Oh, nice, Betsy, nice. Come on, Bobby. Give me that milk. Come on. Stop. Smith. Ah, that's good girl.
I'm Norma, I'm from Lake, and my first job was working at a hot dog stand where I slapped on the mustard and gave out the job. And then I went to work behind the counter of a handbag store, and it was very boring. Then I went to a grocery store, rang the register, and then I went to an investment broker's office and sat behind a desk. Wow. And now I'm working with seniors in Lake, and I have learned to dance.
Big circle. College
special treat tonight to see a work that is in progress from a terrific company, Liz Lerman from Washington, D.C. She has special guests with her tonight from the Lee Senior Center and from a few other places. This is all part of our Artists in Residence series, in which the artists have an opportunity for 3 weeks to be here at the Pillow to work on specific dances, and then we all have the opportunity to see the dances as they're being worked on. So what it means is that you can ask Liz questions or any of the people questions up here, and they're really welcome getting responses from people. It's a terrific experience. We hope that we can keep doing this.
The other thing that we've been doing since I was also here last summer is to be continuing our relationship with older adults that I began working with last summer in the league. In Washington, D.C., in addition to the company that I direct that's here with me, I've also started a company called the Dancers of the Third Age. They range in age from 60 to 89. They tour, perform regularly across the East Coast. Last summer they were in Sweden with us. Most of them began dancing after the age of 60, although several members of that company had professional training in their earlier years. So when I came to Jacob's Pillow in order to do my work, it's sort of impossible to do my work without having older adults as a part of it, as you will see from some of it tonight. So I think it's particularly wonderful that we have this tour group here tonight. And I hope you're happy to ask questions and see how you feel about what you're seeing, and we'll see what happens. So what we're going to do, as Tracy said, this inside-out performance is designed incredibly informally, and our decision this summer has been to essentially show you how we work, as opposed to showing you the finished products. So we're going to act sort of like as if this was a dance class at the Lee Senior Center, and get things rolling that way so you can see what that's like. Then we'll take a break, we'll show you some of this new work that I've been working on, and then we'll come back and show you a work in progress that uses all the dancers that some of you just saw working. So, to begin with, I would like to meet the people who are with me tonight. So why don't we just go right down the row, starting with Norma, say who you are and where you're from, please.
Laura, I'm Peter, and I'm from South Florida.
I'm Deb, and I'm from Washington, D.C.
I'm Marguerite, and I'm from Pittsfield.
Jeff, Washington.
Stan, Lee.
I'm Deborah from Washington. I'm Marie from Lee.
Don from Washington.
Yvonne from Lee.
Now, in Washington, when we perform with the dancers of the third age, one of the first things that we do is to develop introductions, which is a way for all the dancers to introduce themselves to an audience. Now, as I said, we're just beginning, so what we're going to show you are the beginning introductions of a couple of them. We don't consider them finished, they're things we're still working on, but it'll give you an idea of how we work. I'm going to ask Pete, would you give us your introduction?
My first job was working in a cotton mill. There's rows and rows of machines with spindles turning around and around at great speed. I had a little car which I sat on and pushed myself and oiled while the spindle was turning.
Thank you. Thank you. And Marie, would you give your introduction, please?
My first job
You stand up.
was after they babysitted.
So, you can see that while practical playing around with the elements of people's lives, looking for mind sometimes or other kinds of things, and seeing how we can change the movement to make it, say, maybe a little larger than life. So that's an idea how we might make it better.
So, those were just some of the samples of the seniors that were dancing in '85 and '86. And as I said, some of them came back in 1992 and in 1993. I want to introduce you again to Rubiel Nijame, who will lead us in a warm-up exercise that is similar to what Liz Lerman and her company would do with the Lee seniors during their residency. Rubiel is a dancer, choreographer, and emerging artist from Lee whose work bridges dance and community advocacy. She trained at Berkshire Pulse in Housatonic, specializing in ballet, modern, contemporary, and jazz before going on to study at the Boston Conservancy. She has trained during summer intensives with American Ballet Theater, Bates Dance Festival, and the Limon Dance Company, and has performed at the Colonial Theater, Jacob's Pillow, Simon's Rock, Chesterwood, the Mount, and the Boston Conservancy main stage. Through Moving Life Stories, a collaboration between Berkshire Pulse Young Choreographers Initiative and senior residents of Kimball Farms in Lenox, she and her young peers were matched with 7 seniors, including Diana Feld, who had performed Still Crossing at the Pillow in 1992. It is my pleasure to be able to welcome Rubiel, and this summer she will be working at Jacob's Pillow. So if you have a chance to make it over there, either to again go see Liz Lerman when she is there, or at any other time you might bump into her. So I now turn it over to Rubiel.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you all. My grandma actually lived here for many years. You might know her, Miriam Sparling. She recently passed, but this place is very special to me as well. So, oh yes, maybe this isn't working. But yes, it's nice to meet you all. Can you hear me better? Okay, it's nice to meet you all and to be here and to share this with you. And thank you to Joshua for putting this all together. So we can do movements similar to what Liz Lerman was teaching her dancers. And so if you feel welcome and open to moving, you can feel free to sit in these seats over here. And we can just get moving, and we can even make something small all together. And yeah, see how much time we have and what we can come up with. And yeah, see if we can have fun and get moving. So feel free to come forward and sit in these chairs. It would be much easier to move and be all together and be in a circle.
I don't bite. I invited them earlier to get closer, and they're like, no, we're good back there.
Yeah. I highly recommend a circle. It's a great way to dance and see each other and create unity. So, yes, please. So yes, there's comfy chairs here. Yes, please. Yes. And is there a chair in the middle? Is there a chair I can grab? Joshua, feel free to do this with me as well. Feel free to movement. This table's kind of... Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm curious, has anyone done any sort of movement before, or any sort of in their past, or danced before? Yeah.
Jacob's Pillow has done some classes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, hustle, and I don't remember what else.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Did last week in Pittsfield with Sister Nicole.
Oh, awesome.
It's nice dance.
Yeah. What type of movement was it?
African music.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else has done any sort of dance or a little one? Oh yeah, cool. That's awesome. Where did you go to college? Oh, cool. Cool. Awesome. Okay, well, this is open to everyone and for everyone, so you don't have to be a dancer to do this movement. But let's start with a couple deep breaths first to get into our bodies. So open or close eyes, up to you. Breathe in through your nose and out your mouth. And through your nose and out your mouth. one more time through your nose. And make the exhale longer than the inhale. Good. Okay, we can roll our shoulders up and back, and up and back, up and back, up and back. And then you can reverse it, go the opposite way. Back to front, back to front. You can keep that breath going. Front and back to front. Perfect. And you can put your hands out in front of you. And we're going to do circles to our wrists. Either way. And then you can reverse that. Great. Okay, we can put those hands behind our head. And we're going to open up to like we're shining light onto our chest. And you can look up as well. And then we're going to close back in. And you can incorporate the breath as well. On your inhale, that's when you look up. And on your exhale, that's when you close in. Good. And then on your inhale, you look up. And on your exhale, you come in. Good. Let's do two more. Inhale, you look up. Exhale, you come in. Inhale, you look up. Good. Exhale, you come in. Good. We'll get our legs going a little bit. But yeah, feel free to tap them out. It's always good to do a self-massage as well. Just a fun fact. But as much circulation is amazing for anybody. So yeah, tap it out. And now we can start to do the same with our legs. Tap on the floor. And you can kind of hear that there's a sense of rhythm in that. And see if you can feel kind of any sensation you're having in your body of what we were doing. If you feel any warmer, if you feel kind of like a tingling down your body, sometimes that happens. Or sometimes it's just fun to do this and create a sense of rhythm. Yeah. And you can get into a group rhythm, or you can also get off the group rhythm, go slow, or go quick. So it's really cool the things that we can do all together, and kind of intuitively. We can hear it, or we can be more playful. Yeah. It's also good to, you can tap other parts of your body. Explore what kind of parts of your body you can tap. Kind of explore how you're tapping them. Are you going fast? Are you going slow? And it's kind of good for your brain and interesting to do your legs and then something else with your hands. Yeah. Very cool. Very nice. Yeah. Does anybody have favorite types of music that they listen to? Does anybody dance in their kitchen? Yeah. 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 Okay, awesome. Okay. Is anyone feeling a bit warmer in their body? A bit more loose, a bit more in your body, having fun? Okay, so we can do something where we can create something together. Super easy. Don't have fear. And it can be creative and open. And so we're just going to keep adding on to like a little phrase. So you can add any movement that you want. I can start, so I can do, my movement can be here, here. And then we can all try that. So we can go here, here. And that's my movement. It doesn't have to mean anything, it doesn't have to be anything, just fun. Does anybody else have one that they want to add to our little phrase? Yeah, because we're gonna remember it. So keep doing it in your body if you need. Yeah.
Do the wave.
Do the wave. Good. I like it. Do the wave. So we have phrase our movement 1. We have 1, 2. We can add counts to it, and then 2 we have wave. Good. I like it. I like it. And then sideways. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. So we have 3 so far. So we have 1, 2, wave, side wave. Nice. Does anyone have 4? Legs. Wow, you guys want to say one at the same time. Okay, so 2 legs. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. This is tricky for me too. Okay, so so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, wave, side wave, 2, and then we have kick, kick. Yeah. The way I remember choreography is either counts or saying wave or body part, kick or leg. So there's so many ways to remember it, but pick your own, and we'll do it together. I might keep changing it. Okay, so we have 4 so far. Let's do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good, 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 good. Okay, so number 5. Anyone brave and open? Head roll. Good. Yes, we need to move other parts of our body. Good. Okay. Let's try it. So circle around. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we don't usually say 9, 10 in dance, but we'll go head rolls. Okay. Okay, awesome. So we have 6 so far, or 5 so far? 5 so far. That's almost a full dance, but we can keep going, and we're doing great with memory. So let's keep going. Anybody else have another one? Maybe like something different, something with your shoulders. All right, I'll go again. So we'll add the shoulders. So we'll go shoulder, shoulder. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, let's add that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll keep counting. 10, and then 11, 12. Yeah, and we can change speed. We can change quality. We can do something super sharp, or we can do something slow and flowy. We can do something light. We can do something heavy. So there's so many different ways. So anybody have anything else they want to add? We have one back there. Do you have anything? I saw you kind of do the shoulder roll. That's where I got it from. Anybody else? We have a good phrase so far. You can also repeat, but it's good to have everybody able to join.
Foot.
Another foot? Okay. What kind of quality of a foot?
Toe heel.
Toe heel. Like a light, kind of like a cat?
Or heavy.
Heavy? It's your choice. Your movement. Your movement, your choice. What would you like? Okay, that kind of, what that reminds me of is like toe, heel. Toe, heel, or heel, toe?
So just lifting your
Oh,
heel.
heel.
Heel lift, how's that? Heel lift, perfect.
So many ways to say it. I love it. So, heel, toe. Okay, now let's see if I remember it. So, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. From 12, we'll go back to 1. It's just intuitive to me to not keep going. Okay, awesome. And we already started to speed it up a bit, which we can continue to do. And then we can also try different speeds as well. Okay, let's try that one again, a little faster. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. That's a good period. That's a good end. Okay. How do we like our phrase? How do you feel about it? It's yours. We created it. So how do you feel? Good. Limber. You guys are doing amazing. Okay. Let's, I would like it a little bit longer though. So let's see, does anybody else have any movement at all?
Maybe, I don't know, we could do it sway to the side.
Okay, sway to the side, so we can get our torso moving a bit more? Yeah, we've been a bit limmy. We can get our torso moving. Let's do, yeah, how about we do side, side? Yeah. Yeah, we could stand up if you'd like. Okay, so 2 to the side. We'll go right, left. Okay. All right, that's another one. Okay, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Good. I like it. I like it. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. There's so many things we could do. What else could we do?
Do it super fast.
Let's try it super fast. Are we open to super fast?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try it super fast. As quick as you can. Even if it's not next to your neighbor, the same, you're not at the same movement, they're on 6, you're on 12, keep going. Okay, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, however that went. That's rehearsal. That's dress rehearsal. We counted well, yeah. Maybe don't always follow me. Make sure you know it. Make sure you know it.
And these are the exact exercises that Liz Lerman and her company were doing with the seniors here in Lee to get them warmed up and being able to start having some sense of movement even from a seated position. So thank you, Rubiel, for I wanted to conclude to see if first, before I tell you about some of the other events that are happening as part of this exhibit and this project, I wanted to see if there are any questions before I shared with you some other things that are happening. Yes?
Quick question, the video, it said Jacob's Pillow Archives.
Yes.
Does anybody have access to that, or do you have to be a member?
You don't have to, anybody can go anytime, particularly over the summer. It is open, I don't know the exact hours, but it's open daily. And it is a treasure. It is how I got started with my research. I had done some research online, and I was like, let me go and see if they had more of some of the files that I want to see more information. And I just showed up, and I dove in. They pulled records for me. There were files. They pulled out the boxes. They pulled out these videos. And anyone can go. You don't need an appointment. If it's not during the summer and you have something special you wanted to research or look at, it is good to maybe get in touch with them in advance, but just show up and go. They have exhibits on there. It's like a museum and an archive all in one. And this summer they have an exhibit on Martha Graham and celebrating her long history and her company's long history of dance at Jacob's Pillow.
Is there an archivist there?
There is. And in fact, the archivist is coming, well, there's an archive team that's there of about 5 people. Norton Owen is the founding archivist and historian of Jacob's Pillow, and he's speaking this afternoon at 4:30 at the Lee Library. He's going to be speaking about the secret gay history of Jacob's Pillow. He has been at the archives, I think since the 70s or 80s, I think, 70s, and he helped establish it. He is a living encyclopedia, and throughout my research, every time I thought I was done with this project, he would say, "What about Sharon McDonald? She lives in Lee. What about the dancers from Cantarella? They were from Lee. We used to hang out all the time at the Here You Are. Have you gotten in touch with the Here You Are folks?" And so every time I thought I was done, what started as maybe a 6-page paper that I had been working on turned into a very lengthy 12-volume essay series. So yes, Norton is to thank for that, and him and his team are fabulous. And I encourage you, if you're available, to come this afternoon at 4:30 to hear from Norton about the secret gay history of Lee. I'm going to be leading, part of the roots of this project was that last year I helped found Lee Pride, and I had worked with a group of high school students and was trying to encourage them to take up a living history, oral history project about people from the Berkshires and specifically from Lee. That project never got off the ground, but my preliminary legwork turned into this project. And that project was going to be looking at pivotal people and figures from the Berkshires and from Lee that had an impact on culture and sexuality in the Berkshires. And so that's what he'll be talking about this afternoon. This Saturday, I'll be leading a walking tour of the secret LGBTQ plus history of Lee as part of Lee Pride. And then next week, Ollie is having I'm leading Ollie in a talk of the exhibit, a curated walkthrough of the exhibit. And then on the 22nd, a project that many of you may have some familiarity with, was back in the 1950s, 1955, Cantarella School of Dance opened up both in Pittsfield, and they also opened up a class here in Lee. And so the dancers that emerged out of that from the 1950s to the 1980s are getting back together as a mini reunion, some of them, with the founder of Cantarella, who's still alive, and she's now in her 90s, and she's going to be speaking. So I encourage you to check that event out at the library, and there's a range of other events that are going on over the course of this month. And as I said, check out the articles in Berkshire Edge, and also come see the exhibit at the library. Are there other questions that I can answer before we move on to lunch? Yes?
Do you still have the Inside Out?
They do not have the Inside Out. So when COVID hit, two things happened. In 2020, COVID hit, and Jacob's Pillow was one of the first cultural institutions to close. And the second thing that happened later in the year was there was a fire that destroyed one of the theaters, the dance theaters at Jacob's Pillow. And as a result of those two very significant things that happened, they transformed their outdoor stage, their Inside Out stage, by expanding it and putting on more productions outside so that they could return to performing at Jacob's Pillow, and they charged for a number of those performances. Now, there isn't Inside Out, but they still use the stage many days of the week. Do you know which days they have it outside? Maybe Wednesday through Sunday. And it's pay what you like, and literally pay $5. It is totally fine, and they encourage you to treat it like Inside Out, but they're trying to generate a little bit of extra income through it. So the heart behind it is the same, but it's not totally free like it once was. And I will say that people from Lee were the people who built the stage of Inside Out. So that's also a nice little side note on that. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for moving today.